Hi, how are you? Today I'm at the Straits Key, and I took off my mask so I can talk, and there's nobody around me. So today I want to talk about a quick one, which is learn with the intent to teach. I think it's pretty common. I think we all learn something, and I think it's, we learn every day. We learn something, don't we? And I think for me is that sometimes we take learning for granted, like we just learn it, we just learn it, and I either remember it or something like that, and we learn, right? So, but I figured that if we have a different intention when we are learning, we probably will be able to learn it in a different way. Okay, so how do we frame learning in a different perspective? So one of the ways is to learn something, with the intent to teach it. I guess a lot of people may think that's pretty common, but I think sometimes we don't frame it properly. We don't frame it in that way. We kind of take learning for granted and say we learn it, just for ourselves a little bit, right? Hi, Anne. Hi, James. So, but if we start to think about learning from a perspective of learning with an intent to teach, then I think we kind of learn differently. Say hi. Hi. So for example, you learn a new skill, or you learn some new information, you learn some way of cooking, or you learn something. So not you don't just learn it just for your own sake, like hey, I learned something. I learn it with the intention to teach it to somebody else. I think that's very important, because if you start to learn something with the intent to teach somebody else, you kind of learn things differently. I think your brain functions differently when you learn with the intent to teach. But you may ask me, is that Willing? Well, I'm learning this for myself. I don't think I want to teach anybody, what I learned. It's okay if you don't have anyone to teach to. I think it's okay. But if you start to think about learning with the intent to teach, I think you learn differently. I think you immediately start to think about who you can share it with, how to share it with them, how to learn it and share it with them, that they can receive it easily, or that they can understand it. And by thinking of learning that way, I tend to start to maybe summarize it, maybe have conclusions, maybe have applications, and maybe think about who I can share it with right away in my mind. So I think that rather than learn something and then maybe put it away and then come back and think about it, who or when or how, you start thinking about it as and when you start learning it. Because don't worry, your brain can take it. But guess what? You don't skip a step. You actually think multiple steps ahead, and you can immediately apply it to people, or friends, or your organization, or your team, when you start to learn things in that perspective. All right. So learn with the intent to teach. That way you start to apply. You think about who you can share it with, when, in what occasion, and how to take the points of what you just learned and share the important parts, the key points, with those with your friends. All right. So I think that when you learn something with a purpose, you tend to, I mean, it's always that way. When you learn something with a purpose, you tend to focus on the purpose, and you kind of remember things easier when there's a purpose. So when you learn with the intent to teach, you are already thinking about those key points: who, when, where, how already. All right. So anyway, that's a quick one I want to share with you, because we all learn things every day, and sometimes we may take learning for granted. And this little quick tip can help accelerate learning so that you can apply it right away. All right. So anyway, they're in the car already. I better get going. Hi everybody. Hi Wendy. And hi Ying. How are you? So have a good weekend. It's Monday, so have a fantastic week ahead. All right. Take care now. Bye bye.